Welcome to the Surrey Experience.
Welcome to episode 8 of the Surrey Experience. Holy shit, I've already done 8 of these fucking things. What's going on, Surrey? It's been a fucking crazy last week for me. A lot of shit going on in my life right now. My father just retired, which is like every brown kid's worst nightmare. It's like, dude, you can't just retire. Who's gonna co-sign all my shit now? And be like forced to become my own man. But if anyone deserved to retire, it was my dad. He's the fucking hardest working dude I know. This fucking guy used to work like 16 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then drive a cab on the weekends. That work ethic shit must skip a generation. Because if I had to work as much as he did, I would have went back to India so fast. It sucks that he's retiring though. Because every day before he would go to work, he would like come up to me and tell me I'm a moron and I need to get my shit together. I needed that, you know? It was like the perfect motivation. Now when my dad tells me to get my shit together, it's going to be like, dude, don't listen to this fucking guy. He doesn't even have a job. But I want to congratulate my father on his retirement on this podcast that I'll never hear instead of telling him to his face. Because that's how we do shit in my family. 2016 has been like one of the worst years of my life. First, my father retires. And now in a couple months, my fucking brother's getting married. Dude, the day I found out my brother's getting married, I was like depressed for a week. My brother's like one of the smartest dudes I know. Why you would do something so stupid like getting married is beyond me. Every dude from Surrey that's been married for more than 2 years has grown to regret it. Why would you go against those odds? It's like the end of an era, you know? It's fucking sad. Gonna be a whole different world after my brother gets married. I'm not gonna be able to walk around in my undies and shit, you know? I'm not gonna be able to have my friends over anymore because they're all just fucking savages. Maybe it's time I just get my own place. I tried getting my own place once and it sucked balls. My house right now is a shit. It's like living in a hotel, right? There's a bar, there's a fucking theater room, a steam shower. It's like a 5-star hotel. I just leave whenever I want, come home whenever I want, let people stay here, right? Store shit in the garage. Dude, last week I threw a fucking party at my house. And by the time I woke up, my mom already cleaned up the entire mess. And she even returned all the beer bottles. And like the $12 she got back from the recycling, she went and bought me like a Subway sandwich. Why the fuck would I ever leave this place? It's like a fucking paradise, you know? I didn't even eat the fucking sub because I was too hungover, but it was the thought that counts. I'm actually going to get my own place real soon. But I'm just going to rent it out and stay at home like everyone else in Surrey. I know it's not the sexy thing to do, but fuck it. That's my plan. Dude, I was talking to my parents. And they were telling me that the wedding's going to cost over $100,000. $100,000. A fucking $100,000. I thought they were bullshitting, but then I asked one of my buddies that just got married recently, and he confirmed it. He told me that the average wedding in Surrey costs over $100,000. So fucking stupid. Can somebody, for the life of me, please explain why the fuck these weddings cost so much? $100,000? Do you know what the fuck you can do with $100,000? I don't get it, man. Dude, when I was talking to my dad, he told me that the alcohol alone is going to cost like 15 to 20 grand. Because my family's full of fucking animals. The wedding's going to cost me like $5,000 out of my own pocket. Because someone has to supply the drugs, right? Shouldn't the drugs just be included in the overall wedding budget? If you're already spending $100,000, what's an extra $5,000? I should do that. I'm going to go up to my dad and be like, Dad, I need another $5,000 for the wedding. Yo, I just fucking need it. Right now, the drugs are the only thing the family doesn't supply at a wedding, right? Everything else is on the house. I should start that trend. Supply all the drugs for the wedding, but like out in the open. Like have a separate bar, like a drug bar, right? Just with like rolled up joints, a bowl full of Molly, a mountain of cocaine, right? I wonder how much blow I'd need for the wedding. Let's see, there's going to be like 900 people at the wedding, and like 200 of those 900 are from the girl side, And they're not from Surrey, so that takes us down to 700 people. And half of those 700 people are women, and they're not going to do blow. Not at a wedding anyway. So that leaves us at 350 people. And out of those 350 people, like 50 of them are Guineas. So that leaves us at 300. Actually, Guineas are pretty fucked up nowadays. Maybe I'll just include them. Better to be safe than sorry, I guess. Alright, so we're still at 350. So out of those 350 people, at least 150 will be like squares that don't do drugs for some weird reason. So that leaves us at 200 people. I need to supply drugs for 200 people. I wonder how much blow I would need for 200 people. Hold on, let me Google it. Alright, how much cocaine would one need to purchase for 200 people? How much does cocaine cost? Cocaine overdose is cocaine death. Dude, what the fuck, man? Cocaine consumption, 200 people. Fucking Google. Good for nothing. Is it me or is Google the most overrated shit ever? Oh, fuck it. I'll just ask one of my drug dealer friends. That's what's going to separate my brother's wedding from the rest of the weddings that happen in Surrey. Because when it comes to weddings, everything's been done already. Like, people have come in on helicopters, horses. There's been like shooter bars, magic tricks, fucking ballerinas. Everything's been done except for a drug bar. You wouldn't even have to hit the blow in the bathroom. You could just hit it at the bar like a gentleman, right? Get some like hot bartender chick to bust up the lines. It would be a fucking hit. Surprised no one's thought of this before. And for all you assholes that think this is a fucked up idea, alcohol has killed more people per year than MDMA, cocaine, and marijuana combined. So you can go fuck yourself. I guarantee if I pull this off, every wedding in the summer of 2017 will have a drug bar. Fuck, man. I still have to write my speech, right? It's going to be the most fucked up speech of all time. Because usually when I have to do a speech at the wedding, I'm always tripping out about like other people's families and stuff. But this is my party. I can say whatever the fuck I want. It's not like my parents are going to kick me out. I'm going to drop a couple F-bombs, right? Might throw in a couple cunts. See what happens. But yeah, man, 2016 has been fucked up. On top of all that, Muhammad Ali just died. That dude was my hero. That dude and Bret the Hitman Hart, my two all-time biggest heroes. As a guy who's obsessed with fighting, Muhammad Ali was like a god. Watching fights, I should specify. I'm not obsessed with like fighting myself. I should say that before someone challenges me to a duo or some shit. But yeah, man, without Muhammad Ali, there would be no Floyd Mayweather. There would be no Conor McGregor. Dude was a fucking legend. His story is just crazy, man. The guy started boxing because someone stole his bike, right? So this fucking guy, Cassius Clay, right? That was his name at the time. That was his like birth name. So this guy goes to the Olympics in 1960 in Rome and he wins a gold medal, right? He's this young dude, black, young, handsome, right? Shit kicker. And he's just talking major shit. And no one in the 1960s, no black athlete in the 1960s was talking shit. Every black athlete before him was just trying to get by, not trying to cause any shit, like Joe Louis, all those guys, right? The Brown Bomber. They were all like super status quo, right? Then this guy comes around, and not only is he talking shit, he's the greatest shit talker in the history of sports. And this is in 1960, right? So he turns pro, and he's just destroying everyone. He's the fastest heavyweight of all time. He's right. So he's destroying everyone. He's talking all this shit. He's getting all this fame. And then at 22 years old, they give him a title shot against Sonny Liston. And if anyone follows boxing, Sonny Liston was one of the baddest motherfuckers ever, right? This guy was a savage, fucking savage. No one gave Muhammad Ali a chance in this fight, right? And Muhammad Ali's talking all this shit. He's like, I'm going to destroy him, right? Saying all this fucked up shit to Sonny Liston. And he's a 7-1 underdog. No one in the world thought Muhammad Ali was going to win, right? And Muhammad Ali just goes in there and he boxes this dude's face off. He just fucking lights him up. And Sonny Liston couldn't even get out of his corner in the 6th round. And that's how Muhammad Ali became the youngest heavyweight champion of the world at 22 years old, man. Fucking crazy. Dude, the craziest part about that fight is Muhammad Ali's post-fight interview. After the fight, there's just like this white dude interviewing him, and Muhammad Ali just gets on the mic and he just screams. He's just screaming on the top of his lungs, "I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world." Fucking crazy, dude. If you haven't seen that clip, YouTube Muhammad Ali, "I shook up the world." Fucking gives me goosebumps every time I see that shit. If you're ever feeling like uninspired or lazy and don't want to go to the gym, just YouTube Muhammad Ali, "I shook up the world," and try not going to the gym. Dude, the guy had like fucking Malcolm X in his entourage. Mayweather had like 50 Cent. Fuck 50 Cent, dude. Muhammad Ali had Malcolm X in his fight entourage. It's fucking badass. Right? So after that fight, he was Cassius Clay then, and then he changes his name to Muhammad Ali, right? And he's like with the Nation of Islam, and they're doing all this like crazy radical shit, right? This is Muhammad Ali in his prime, and he's just destroying everyone. No one could touch him. This guy is fucking lighting everyone up, right? So he changes his name to Muhammad Ali, becomes a Muslim, but everyone keeps calling him Cassius Clay. It's pissing him off, right? So he fights this dude called Ernie Terrell. And this Ernie Terrell dude refused to call him Muhammad Ali. He kept calling him Cassius Clay. And when they fought, Muhammad Ali was beating the shit out of this guy. And he's like, "What's my name? What's my name?" And he's just punching this guy in the face. He's like, "What's my name? You Uncle Tom? What's my name?" I don't know, man. That's the most badass shit ever. He could have knocked him out in like the first couple rounds, but he just tortured the guy for 15 rounds because the guy wouldn't call him Muhammad Ali. Fucking badass, dude. So then after that's when all the Vietnam War shit happened, right? They wanted him to go to war. They drafted him into the army and he refused to go. And that's when he coined that famous line. He's like, "No Viet Cong ever called me nigger," right? Fucking balls on that guy, dude. He was the first person and the most famous person to oppose the Vietnam War and stand up to the United States government. The most powerful empire in the world. Dude, no one stands up to the US government. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. No one stands up to him. Not even the president has the balls to stand up to the United States government. Dude, even Martin Luther King didn't have the balls to oppose the Vietnam War until Muhammad Ali started opposing it. Right? Dude, everyone's hating on Muhammad Ali, right? Dude, there's this clip on YouTube. It's this fucking like nerdy guy, right? This little nerdy white college kid. And he's basically calling him Muhammad Ali a pussy. He's like, "Why aren't you going to the war? Why are you scared to go to war in Vietnam?" Right? And Muhammad Ali just fucking verbally destroys this guy. I gotta play this fucking clip, man, because it's just legendary.
Held his own against students who had a far better formal education than he.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not gonna help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm gonna die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm gonna die, you my enemy. My enemy is the white people, not Viet Congs or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
You gotta watch it on YouTube, man. You gotta see the white dude's face. Like, he didn't know what the fuck to say. But yeah, so since Muhammad Ali refused to go to Vietnam, they stripped him of his title. They jailed him. They suspended him for 3.5 years from boxing. And that was in his prime. From age 25 to 29, he wasn't allowed to box. And that they totally fucked him. Because when he came back, he just wasn't the same. He didn't move the same, and he took way more damage. Just imagine the fucking damage this guy would have done if he fought those 3 years in his prime. He might not even got Parkinson's disease. But who the fuck knows, man? What a fucking time to be alive. The 1960s? I'm obsessed with the 1960s, man. That decade changed the world. That's probably one of the most important decades in the last couple hundred years. Shit went down in the 1960s. That was a turning point, man. After that decade, everyone agreed that it was morally wrong to be racist. After the 60s, if you were racist, you were wrong and you were the asshole. But before the 60s, if you weren't racist, you were an asshole. Right? You were in the wrong. But all that changed after the 60s because of guys like Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, JFK. They changed the way everyone in the world thought, man. Fucking crazy. The fucking balls on those dudes. And now, years later, 50 years later, Muhammad Ali was vindicated because the Vietnam War was complete bullshit. If you actually read about the Vietnam War, they went into Vietnam because of this one incident called the Gulf of Tonkin. But the United States government has now admitted that the Gulf of Tonkin incident never happened. So they should have never went to Vietnam in the first place. I don't know, man. Fucking crazy, dude. But yeah, then he came back 3.5 years later, and he had some legendary fights, man. Like the fight with Joe Frazier, the fight of the century, then the Rumble in the Jungle with George Foreman, the Thrilla in Manila, all that crazy shit, man. Some of the most like legendary sports moments of all time. And then he had to retire because he had Parkinson's disease, and it totally fucked him up. But just the legendary shit he did, man. He went to Iraq. In 1990, he went to Iraq and rescued 14 American hostages from Saddam Hussein. Even Saddam Hussein bowed down to fucking Muhammad Ali, man. That's how badass he was. That fight against George Foreman in Africa is probably the greatest fight in the history of fighting, period. If you guys haven't seen When We Were Kings documentary, please drop everything you're doing and go watch that. When We Were Kings, probably one of the greatest documentaries ever made. Fuck Real Housewives. Fuck all that Kim Kardashian shit. Fuck scrolling through Netflix for an hour and not being able to find anything. Just watch When We Were Kings. It's probably the best movie on Muhammad Ali ever. The movie with Will Smith where he played Muhammad Ali was good too, but every time I see Will Smith, I just picture him and getting jiggy with it music video, and it ruined it for me. But When We Were Kings, you have to see it. It's a must watch. I don't fucking know, man. Dude was a legend, absolute legend. And I know, this is supposed to be a comedy podcast, and I'll go back to making fun of Surrey girls next week, but I just wanted to pay homage to Muhammad Ali, one of the baddest motherfuckers of all time. So on behalf of everyone in Surrey, I just want to send my condolences out to Muhammad Ali's family, his friends, and all his millions of fans around the world. Rest in peace to one of the baddest dudes to ever live, the people's champ, Muhammad Ali.
I shook up the world! 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 I shook up the world!